Good morning and welcome to Rugby Chat, 15th of July 2025. And boy, oh boy, do we have a show for you today. One that you cannot miss. And I tell you what, it's going to be a boomer. I can tell you that because I've got a couple of boomers, one boomer online who's going to jump on and have a few words to say. But awesome weekend. We'll be going right throughout the country, Northland to Southland, bringing you all the champions, all the winners and all the losers and all the international stuff. So it's going to be huge. I do want to give a quick shout out to people I met at the test match in Wellington here on Saturday. Thank you very much for giving me words of encouragement about our show and what we do here for Heartland Rugby. And so it's much appreciated. It's great to meet people you don't know from a bar of soap saying well done. So if you're watching, throw the comment in the chat below, and we'll give you an even bigger shout out. So anyway, to start off the show, we will bring in young Mike. Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, good. How you getting on, mate?
How am I getting on? Well, I know we've got a big show today. Big show. But what's going to blow this show out of the water, and we ask him to keep his temper in check until we get down to the South Island. So we'll go through all the North Island stuff and international results. But we welcome back for the first time for a long time. Good morning, Rhodey.
Good morning. Have I got some things to say?
How can I put it? The oracle of New Zealand rugby, especially down south, and it's
some people in the old home. Some people in the old home province are about to get their butts hurt.
I know, and I see you wearing some bloody ugly red and black thing. But anyhow, as I said, we'll do is we've got plenty of stuff to talk about today. So I'll just bring up the results from the weekend. Hang on, I'll just bring that up. There we go. I had a bit of a play around with our, thingies, our format here. So now you're on the right, not the left, guys. So we'll just have a quick look at the results from the weekend. And, Georgia are on their way to South Africa. And they played the Cheetahs on Friday night and got beaten 24-20, which was a bit of an upset, really. So Georgia have got a lot to work through when they get to finally play South Africa. But how good was Fiji, boys, in the weekend, getting up 29-14 over Scotland?
Is that really a big upset, though?
Well, no, they should have beaten Australia.
Well, exactly. What I'm saying is, a lot of the Scottish squad's away with the Lions, so it's not exactly a full-strength Scotland team, is it?
No, exactly. But awesome to see Fiji in the winning circle back there in Suva. And then we did have the upset of the weekend. Wales won 31-22 after 2 years of wilderness rugby. The Welsh finally got a W under their belts. Are we making too much of that? Are they about to just start another run of losses?
Who can tell with either of those teams, really?
Well, it's good to see it. It's good to see Wales winning again, and it's even better to see Fiji winning again. I don't know what Mac Byrne's put in their Fiji water, but geez, that was some great rugby they played on the weekend.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome. And as I said, the poor old Scots, a good friend of ours, Angus Thompson, he was over there, and there was a photo someone took of him in the grandstand, and he was one grumpy Scotsman, I can tell you that. He's normally a very happy chappy in his kilt, but no, he wasn't a happy chappy at all. And then, of course, I was at the game. Awesome atmosphere. Now, I just want to point out to all the scribes here in New Zealand, all the scribes overseas. I was in the front row in the southern end of the stadium, apparently getting my head blown off by the wind that was coming in from the north. So you would think, reading all the match reports, It was a beautiful night. There was bugger all wind. There was the odd little swirl of wind, but you get that at any rugby ground. So just because it was in Wellington, it wasn't. It was windy. It wasn't. Okay, just pull your bloody heads in. Here's my bloody grumpy gripe.
They're the same people that tell you Eden Park's a sellout, full house when it's only 30,000. So I mean, why would you believe them?
Well, Wellington was to sell out 34,000 people, but officially 33,827. So
they actually do full sellout. That's the difference.
But yeah, the official capacity is 34,000, but there were 170 people short of an official sellout. Having a few good discussions with people around us saying they should paint the seats black, because I tell you what. We're at the stadium, when you see the empty yellow seats, you go, okay, well, that's not a sellout. But if it was black, you wouldn't have noticed it. And then, of course,
that yellow is a bit of a. It does show badly, doesn't it? To be fair, when there was people sitting there.
Yeah. And then, of course, I was on the show with Frano Boddicker and Bruce Rehana with Joe Shepp on the Lions Unleashed podcast last week. We all went to ANZACS. We're going to do the Lions. Oh, my freaking God. 48-0. The ANZACS, I don't care if they'd only been together for a week, but they did not fire a shot. Now, here's one for you, Rhodey. Ian Foster was the coach.
Says it all, really, doesn't it? Another Chiefs loser. Gatland, Foster, McMillan. See, they anything they touch, they lose.
Where did they go wrong, Mike?
Oh, I don't know, but it was an embarrassment, really. I didn't see David Havili or Tana Hetmed all game. They were just, I don't know.
Yeah, AJ Lamb.
In all seriousness, lads, do you think, like, we're old enough to remember the original Anzac team, right? That played in '89.
Yeah.
And I was having a look at some stuff from that. The original Anzac team actually had guys like Campese and a few of our guys who were starting in the test matches in that team, right? Do you think maybe that's the difference? They kind of had a scratch team together. Some of those guys could have played could have been in test teams like Havili, etc. But do you think maybe it was just a weaker side than the original Anzac side, and that might have been the issue? I don't know. But I certainly know that the original team had test players in it.
Well, yeah, Campese, Nick Farr-Jones.
That's what they took
Boddicker, McDowell.
Yeah, it was
Kieran
taken
Crowley.
seriously. It's almost like this wasn't taken seriously. It was just, just put a team together to have a run.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas
and then, of course,
team,
yeah, it is. I mean, I bet you Frano and Bruce Rehana are sitting there going, what the hell happened? But, hey, I mean, I'm glad I was in esteemed company picking the Anzacs to win that game.
Well,
of course, then South Africa played Italy in their second test. Italy gave them a bit of a fright last weekend, but they turned around and they threw on 45 zip against the Italians, which was quite obvious. And then, of course, Ireland were playing Portugal, a second-string Irish side, got up by a thumping 106 points to 7. Well, that was a no-brainer.
Portugal's going to the World Cup, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, wow.
With Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. But I'll tell you what, and you're going to love this, Uruguay totally demolished the Romanians by 70 points to 8. And yes, if you didn't know this, Warren Gatland is a coach advisor for the Uruguayans.
But isn't that sad for Romania? Because you go way back to the amateur days when at one point they were talking about Romania joining the Six Nations before Italy. Like they were a powerhouse not a powerhouse, but in the second tier of rugby for a long time. Romania were there or thereabouts.
You're right.
Unfortunately, they had a revolution.
Yeah, they did,
Literally,
but even after that revolution, they didn't have results like that. They were still reasonably competitive with nations like Uruguay, etc. So I mean, you know,
yeah, but then it all feeds down, doesn't it? So I mean,
mm,
Uruguay play Argentina quite a lot now. They do a
yeah,
lot more South American games against Brazil and Chile
yeah,
and as I said, Argentina, Paraguay. So they have been building their skill set. So I just
yeah.
say, well done. It was 17-14, talking about Argentina at half time. They were bouncing back to get their to turn the tables on the English, but then the English came back and won that game by 22-17 to win that series 2-0. Now that's a bit of an upset, is it not?
Uh, yeah, probably because again, that England team's see. I guess it's hard to say. Like you can say the England team's under strength, but England's a bit like France, where they've got that many players. Are they really that under strength? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of they're a pretty strong side. I don't know. It's hard. I mean, look at the score. They're there or thereabouts, Argentina. So it's not. It's not
Yeah. But after beating
devastating.
the Lions, you know, expected a lot more. And then after last week's performances by Canada and the United States, all looking all rosy in North American
Yeah,
land,
yeah,
well, Belgium, after their defeat to the USA in Edmonton, got up over the Canadians by 25-18. And after in Spain, well, they turned the tables on the USA, who are hosting the next World Cup after Australia, and Spain beat them 31-20. Rhodey,
yeah.
what's happening with our wonderful men stateside?
Well, I mean, I haven't been following it for closely for a few years, but the question I have for you, you may know, are they only selecting guys from Major League Rugby in that American team, or is it still from across the country?
Oh, it's hard to tell. I mean,
Because that Major League,
they set up Anthem Rugby to develop,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
American
yeah,
players, coached by Alama Iramia. They have not won a game in 3 seasons yet in
yeah.
Major League Rugby.
It,
And now
it just appears to me Major League Rugby's full of, from what I've seen, because I don't have Sky, I just watch what I can. It's full of like Australians, New Zealanders, and South Africans on a retirement gig, and there's very few American players coming through. It still hasn't answered the issue of how do we develop American rugby. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
I
understand.
haven't
And
heard.
it hasn't. It really,
No.
really hasn't. But they're the main results from the weekend. But then, of course, just in Africa, we've been having the Africa Cup competition, and we're down to the nitty gritty, which is on Saturday. And so going from the top, you know, Senegal, Morocco, Algeria, Kenya, Ivory Coast, who used to be a powerhouse, Uganda. But the big game we'll be watching there will be Namibia versus Zimbabwe. The winner there will go through to the World Cup next year. I think Namibia have had their moments, but I think it would be awesome to see the Sables back in the World Cup frame. On top of that, I think Namibia goes into a repechage playoff and all that. But it wouldn't be great. I mean, who can't forget Simba's try at Athletic Park, diving under the post and breaking his shoulder?
Whatever became of Richard Simba?
I think he passed
What
away.
did he? Oh, sad. Because that was one of the teams that everyone, you know, it was the team that everyone embraced, and you know what I mean. It was, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It was that team that everyone embraced and wanted to see do well. And yeah, Richard Simba's heroics.
Yeah. Well, it was like he got a 10 out of 10 for diving under the post with no one around him. Unfortunately, as I said, broke his shoulder in the process, scoring the try. It was
Yeah.
very much a Corandua running with the ball in one hand moment from that World Cup in '87. So yeah, and then of course, as I said, we quickly touched on that. What did you think of the AB's performance against the French C team in the weekend, boys? We'll start with Mike.
Oh, I thought it was pretty good. You know, there was players that really stood out, and Obviously Fabian Holland again and Tupou Vai, and obviously there's a couple of injuries that have come out of it. But Razor will just have to manage the squad and put the people in the right places. I thought they were a lot more clinical last Saturday. Passes were sticking, and there was people running off people, and it was good.
Yeah, righty.
Oh well, as you know, I don't have Sky now, so I watch what I can on replays and highlights and stuff. See, I don't call the French team a C team because once again, France is one of those countries that has a lot of depth. The Division 2, if you watch any of their Division 2 stuff, is a pretty good bloody competition, and those players are good players. I mean, the thing I noticed in the first match particularly is how bloody much bigger they look than our guys on TV. Even RDCRV looks small, they were big guys. But I think the All Blacks, it was good to see a couple of things. Tupou Vai at blindside was a bit of a revelation. I thought that was a good move, and he did really well there.
Mm-hmm. Until he went off injured.
Yeah, Billy Proctor at centre. That's the answer, isn't it? I've been saying that for a while. He's a natural ball player, a distributor. That's looked really good. And Will Jordan in his natural position at fullback. That's looked really good. And the number 10 thing is a quandary because we had to pick the two that we picked because there isn't anyone coming through at the moment. And Barrett's done all right there. He's done all right running the ship.
Stick with what you know, as they say.
Well, and they seem to get the French with some nice little moves. I notice the assistant coach Scott Hansen there pulled one of our club moves there on Saturday down the blind side with Roygaard. It's an old move that we used to use at club level a lot. That was a master stroke using. They seem to be the French seem to be wanting to muscle up, and cleverly the All Blacks played at pace, and they look good. But South Africa, I think they're the ones we need to worry about, eh?
Yep.
Oh, I know. What's all this lifting not in a line out from attack?
Yeah, I know.
What did you think of that, Mike?
Oh, I just shook my head when I seen that. Really,
Isn't that when they do that? Here's me putting on my uneducated thought. Isn't that blocking someone? Isn't that like setting up almost like a scrimmage and gridiron? Because you've got one guy, you're picking them up, and all of a sudden that one guy is three guys wide.
You see, the way they do the lineouts now, I'd rather they went back to the old way, where it was a competition. You didn't lift people, and there was none of this meter gap. Because you used to have an even chance of getting the ball with the old lineouts.
I'm not talking about the lineouts. I'm talking about under the post, taking a tap, kicking the ball up in the air, and then the guy coming through, and then the players coming around, and then lifting up the receiver like it was a line out.
I didn't. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's probably not illegal. It's a bit dodgy, but it's probably not illegal.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a fine line, isn't it? Because what's the difference from, players being offside? I mean, do they bring the TMO in and bring in like the football VAR and say his left testicles hanging out in front of the other player?
Don't get me started on TMOs. Don't. So what is it with TMOs now where they can referee the game? When they first came in, it was, if I want your help, I'll refer to you, right? And the game would flow. Yeah. Now you've got these guys butting in going, go back 20 bloody phases and check that. That's ridiculous, right? That's absolutely ridiculous. Remember a couple of years ago that George Ayoub, there was someone refereeing a game and all you could hear on the commentary was kick, 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 kick. They need to limit their powers because it's getting ridiculous. You might as well watch NFL. You might as well watch NFL and have 2-minute timeouts.
Exactly, and that's what it is. It is almost like timeout. But I won't mention the time the Crusaders played the Hurricanes and we went back 5 minutes to a knock on by a Hurricane.
Hey, But that was ridiculous, and I said that to you at the time. That was ridiculous. Why?
Yes.
Why take it back that far? You know, once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
And we
And
all
I
used
do
to
like-
bitch. We all used to bitch about the Auckland NPC team dominating in the 80s, right? With some dodgy decisions. But, you know, referees were human, and that was part of the game, and mistakes are made, and sometimes other teams got luck. And, you know, a lot of this TMO stuff is silly little things that are like barely even worth worrying about.
Yeah.
But no,
And
they've got to go back.
Yeah, but that's where Angus Gardner is beautiful. He will look at that and go, nothing there. Go away, leave me alone. And he's not afraid to say that, you know? I have a much respect for him there. But anyway, so that's 20 minutes of talking international rugby for the time being. But what I thought we would have a quick look at is north to south. And I can see Rhodey just winding up that rubber band as we come down the country. Hey,
I broke it. I broke it already.
I've broken the rubber band already. So, okay, so we started up there in Northland. If we've missed any results, okay. But we have the Whangarei sub-union. Who did we have there? Northern got up over Western. In the reserves there, we had Northern again, doubled up there. They won over Kaihu Valley. Then with the boys game, finished 13, all good on them. And then we had the main games, which was the Manganui Bell Shield, and Awanui got beaten by Eastern there by 27-23. But the champions up there, the Bay of Islands Shield, shall I say, it was Kaio getting up over Otira. So congratulations to those guys. And then what's happening is, as I said, I've just gone north to south here. The Heartland squads and the Bunnings, the Farapama Cup squads, they're all starting to get names. So, you know, good luck to all the girls in the Cowries up in Northland. You can catch up with all their talk and all that on their socials, of course. And then, of course, in the what do you call it? The Northland Development Squad got announced with all the players from their sub-union. So congratulations to all those guys who will be playing some rep rugby moving forward. Then, because there was really nothing at North Harbour or Auckland, who gives a shit about them, we moved down to Thames. And Waihi, after a couple of quiet years, are back in the winner's circle there after getting up over Paira, the Lemons, I like to call them. Waihi are the Thames Valley champions for 2025. And then, of course, straight after that game, and I did say to you, Mike, yesterday, it's tomorrow, but I forgot yesterday was the 14th, and that's when the team was going to be announced, because the Swamp Foxes this week have a big game coming up, and they will be playing Taranaki for the Ranfurly Shield on Saturday afternoon. And it's we'll just have a quick look at their squad, and we've got they've got quite a handy squad there with Hendricks Beasley, Harry Lafatuanai, Drongle. It's quite a how can I put it, settled Swamp Fox team, yeah?
Yeah, it is. They've obviously got Drongle and Conor McGarry there, Quinn Collar. I don't see Todd Doolan there or Matty Axons from last year, but it'll be interesting to see how they go. We've got them in round one of the Heartland, so that'll be a challenge for our boys, but it'll be interesting to see how they go against Taranaki on Saturday. I won't see it because I'll be at Club Rugby down here, but I'll just watch the highlights when they come available.
Yeah, well, and it just goes to show there is a pathway until we get down to Southland. I can't remember. Fletcher, who played for these guys, is down there now, and he's going to be playing for Southland. So congratulations to him, because apparently Southland need a few extra players down there because they don't have enough. See how I'm just building up here? You know, they just don't have enough people to select from. So then we crossed the border, and PO, congratulations. They won the first division final there in King Country, Ramsland. And then they had their semi-finals. So this weekend we'll have Taupo Maris taking on Tongariro for the Meads Shield, I think it's called. So congratulations to those teams to make the big dance this weekend. And then over the way, over in the East Coast, used to be Hurricane Country. Now it's Chiefs Country. And TVC got up. Now that game, brilliant, because I love that ground. I remember watching a game there the other day, and it was just the worst weather ever to watch a game in. But they played Waiapu, and they got up in a very close encounter to take out the Keelan Shield there to become champions of the East Coast. Meanwhile, down south, back in Hurricane Country, Young Maori Party back in the winner's circle with a 21 points to 7 win over Tapua. And huge win for them. Forever champions, YMP. So they're just showing how decent they are. So what happens after that? We get a squad announced for the Poverty Bay Weka. And Mitch Purvis isn't there. You were going through the team yesterday, Mike. Who wasn't there that stood out for you?
Yeah, well, Mitch Purvis is one of them, but it's good to see there's Jade Scudder back in Kiana Tamata and P. Fairley. But there's a lot of names there that I don't recognise.
Yeah. Well, Te Fairley, of course, can be a winger, but he's an awesome Lucy as well. So, but no, there's a few new names floating around. There are a few players there who are not considered available through injury at the moment. Kelvin Smith, one of them, and Taina Pora. So there's a couple of names that can still come in to their squad. So, we're looking forward to it. Oh, I can feel the Heartland rep season just around the corner. It's awesome. And then, of course, we have down south a little bit more, the Mighty Maroons, Taradale. They got up and won the Hawke's Bay Championship in an awesome game, 47 points to 40. To take out the Hawke's Bay Championship. So well done to them. And then over in Palmerston North, Varsity in another tight final there. They got up over Kiatoa by 29 points to 27. Now, I don't have the graphics for Wairarapa Bush, where I would have probably gone next, but from off the top of my head, I believe it's going to be a Greytown Carterton final there this weekend, so just keep an eye on the socials. Over in Wanganui, the Tai Happy Boys, they got up to take out the big dance after about 1,000 years of border winning it, but they played Kairau, I think it was, in the final. I could be wrong, but congratulations to them. So what happens then? Of course, we get another squad from Wanganui. I think this is the third squad now that they've done. And, of course, they've brought in a couple of loan players. Matt Picard from Taranaki. Cody Mitchell is back from Australia. He's going to be playing under the returning New Zealand player, which is interesting because I heard that they were putting a kibosh on this, because a lot of teams overplayed that card last year, bringing in 4 or 5 players saying, they're returning to New Zealand so they could get away with not being club reps. But I suppose we can have a look. And in the Maris, from Maris there, I've just noticed the name Finley Odruski Brown. That's going to be a mouthful for guys like Mr. Bell and commentators to get their lips around that. And a few more hyphenated names there as well. But you've still got Dame Whale there. Peter Hay-Horton, I think he's injured, but he's there. Another Whale, Chad. So the Whales are continuing their merge throughout the country. Then, of course, just up the road there, we had Stratford. They got up over Bowden Barrett's team, Coastal, 31-22. To be the Taranaki champions. So congratulations to those guys. And then we're into the semi-finals in the Horowhenua. Would have been finals if they didn't have a week off with arsehole referee. Sorry, I'll re-say that. Without people being arseholes to referees. So that's all on this weekend. But then for me, look at the prelim finals for the Jubilee Cup. Look at that. my Johnsonville Hawks, years in the wilderness, will be taking on their boys down the road here in a beautiful derby match. Johnsonville versus Tawa. The winner of that will play the winner of Parramatta, Plympton and Hutt Old Boys for the Jubilee Cup. I might even go to that game, and it will be played in Tawa. But, yeah, how exciting for me, boys. My team might actually...
Is Tawa one of the teams that's normally up the top, or are they a bit of a surprise there as well?
No, they've been quite strong recently. Parramatta, Plympton, Hutt Old Boys, they've been fighting out the finals in recent years. Parramatta picked up all the players from Norths, who used to be the team to beat. And
so what happened to Norths? Why have Norths lost
Parramatta?
Has Parramatta just suddenly become a bigger club?
No, they got the coach from Norths, and he took all his players with him.
Yeah, I got you. No, I got you. Yeah.
A bit of nothing like a bit of club infighting, and then of course, can you see, Mike? Can you see the steam just starting to? Now we've reached the mainland, we've reached the South Island, and look at the aura poking out of the top of Rhodey's head there. It's starting to mist up, but Westport, congratulations to the Westport boys. They got up and won their 33rd Senior Shield in a tight tussle at Victoria Square, getting up by 25 points to 24. And then, of course, what happens? We get a team. And there's still some lone players to be added here, but there are some debuts.
Not yet.
There are some debuts. Toby Cricket, Devlin Pratt, Nathan Palmer, Connor O'Brien, Ben Sherney. A couple of these guys have played non-first class games, but they haven't played full games yet. And then we've got Trey Patterson and Zach Phillips, James Blair. So Craig Adams has sort of brought in quite a few new youngsters, but it's great to see Anthony Ellis there and Stephen Crackett. They'll be tripping up a few guys with their Zimmer frames. What do you think? Oh, they're going to kill me when they see me saying that.
Yeah, it's good to see Anthony Ellis back for another year, and the big backline fella Tora heading for 100 games as well. So that's great. Yeah,
he's sitting on 97 games. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that really, really closely. So and, they've got, as I said, they've got a few extras to add. So yeah, I think let's all get behind the Lions this year, because I think they might pull off the odd surprise. And then, of course, we head down the road to Greymouth. And Kiwi, who won the Jubilee Trophy a couple of weeks ago, defeating Wests, were out for revenge after Wests beat them last year in the Taylor Wallsend final. And Wests got up and went back-to-back down on the West Coast as club champions by 26 points to 24. So congratulations, Wests, and congratulations, Kiwi, because they're the whole coast champions. And then we head over to hang on, I've just got to start doing something here, people. I've got to stick up our warning. Okay, warning: a grumpy old bastard, approach with caution. Okay, so I'll put this on because it's not me being grumpy. I'm just going to have to keep this as a shield from the grumpiness. But North Canterbury, who I still believe should be a Heartland squad, they often go to Japan, but they've announced their team for the Southbridge Shield and Tane Norton Cup. Tane Norton, didn't he play for a team called Canterbury? But if you look at those forwards, and we'll just hold off on the main subject, Rhodey, but there's quite a few forwards in this North Canterbury squad.
Yeah, and guess what? One of them's in the Mid Canterbury Heartland squad as well.
Oh, that's right, Mackay.
Yeah, the big fella from Glenmark Cheviot made it into the Heartland squad, so that's good.
What position does he play?
I think he's a loose forward. I'm not too sure what position, but he's in He's in the thick of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, morning, Clarence. As I said, if anyone's watching, tell us where you're from, and we'll give you a shout out. Yeah. So there we go. North Canterbury looking the goods. As I said, bring them into Heartland, please. Okay. Me and Mike will now go quiet because I'm going to put this up just for a moment. Brody, the floor is yours.
Right. I played in Canterbury and club rugby, not to a high level, but I played there. I coached there to a reasonably high level. And in those days, we had a national provincial representative squad that was picked from the club players in the province. There's 46 clubs in the Canterbury province, including all the country teams. And of those 46, I think 40 of them have a premier team and a premier reserve team, or they have one or the other. So that's how many squads you're talking, right? Each one of those squads must have, what, 6 or 8 props in them? And you're telling me that that Canterbury has to go to Australia to sign a guy to play in the front row. There's no prop in the province of Canterbury that can represent the province, and we have to go to Australia. Not knocking this guy, right? But, of all those clubs, they've assessed that, oh, no, there's no props. Tane Norton, Alex Wiley, those guys would be rolling in their graves to think that we had to go to Australia to find a prop. If we didn't have a prop in Canterbury, they went around the other provinces, found one, made them come to the province and play club rugby like Conbarrel, and had them earn their spot in that squad. You're going to Australia and signing a guy straight in? Is this a national provincial representative squad, or is it just a bloody another Super Rugby squad? This is absolutely disgusting that they feel like that they have to go to Australia and get a guy who probably, because we all know what Australian props are like, they're all like league props. They don't scrummage well. He's probably a different style of prop to everything in Canterbury, and we've got to go and sign a guy from Australia. What do those country guys think that are coming up through the grades? What do the guys playing on all those metro teams think that are coming up through the grades? Where's their pathway to rep rugby? Oh, we'll just go and sign someone from Australia. Absolutely disgusting.
It's a bit of an insult to all these up and coming players coming through the metro grades, and obviously there's 2 or 3 of them that are coming into the Mid Canterbury Heartland team again this year from Christchurch Metro, and that's the way it should be. They should be given the chance to go to Heartland and then to NPC and so on. But something's not right there.
No argument. Guys going to Heartland. That's because Heartland don't have 40. Mid Canterbury don't have 40 clubs in their province, right?
Yeah.
Canterbury does 40 clubs. There must be a prop there somewhere they can bring it. It blows me away. You and I were talking privately during the week on Messenger, and you were calling it the Old Boys Network. This isn't the Old Boys Network, mate. The Old Boys Network are your Grizz Wileys, your Tane Norton, your Kerry Tanners, your Bob Duffs. They're your Old Boys Network. Now probably your Robbie Deans and all those sort of guys, right? This is corporate crap that's filtering into rugby now, where you've got people running rugby unions who aren't rugby people. They're business people. They think they're signing a guy from Australia is the answer. This is not this is supposed to be the provincial team. It's the National Provincial Championship. That's what NPC stands for. I remember coaching junior rugby in Canterbury in the early 2000s, and those kids aspired to play for the province. That was the pathway. Go and play for your province. How do you play for your province when that happens? And if you go to the Canterbury Rugby page and you click on community rugby, there's a telling thing there which is very interesting. On the left it says club rugby, on the right it says representative rugby, and it lists Canterbury B as the representative team. Since when is Canterbury B the representative team?
Yeah.
And
you've got your development team and all these other development teams. So they're developing these guys to develop them for what?
But not only that,
You
you've
know?
got, if you look exactly, but you look at the Canterbury B team, the so-called rep team, Brendan Nolan, Ben Rhodes, they are local coaches being developed, right, to coach the team. Meanwhile, the NPC team has a guy from Bay of Plenty coaching them. Where's the pathways?
Well,
Canterbury,
I know. And
Canterbury had a pathway for players and coaches. It's gone.
I've always said to you, Brian, that obviously Brendan Nolan, the head coach, is the head coach of Linwood, and he's just reached another metro final with his team. So I believe that he should be coming through.
Well, I don't disagree with you. You know, he cut his teeth with Littleton second grade and did well there too, and won some championships before Division 2 before they went up. You know, but I'm saying local coach. You go right back through the Alex Wiley coaching tree. All those guys, Steve Hansen, Robbie Deans, they all coached club rugby, and even Rob Penny coached club rugby and came through. And so now the roadway is Canterbury B for players and coaches. And the NPC team is we'll just bring it on. How many, they haven't named the squad. How many other Australians or guys from out of the province are we going to have in that Canterbury team? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure, they've got these awesome squads, but I do point it out, nowadays, I mean, you've got a Highlander there as an assistant coach, It's sort of like, put on these guys for, doing their,
Why
time.
isn't he coaching Otago? Otago's brought a coach in from outside as well.
Yeah. I know. It is absolutely just crazy. But what I'll do is I'll just quickly take that off, and I'll bring this back up so we're all three. So,
and if we move further south to Otago, then you got the situation there with Southland, who I kind of get. Southland don't have a lot of clubs, so they do need to bring guys in. But all season, from what I've been reading and hearing locally here, Southland's quietly been going around the premier competition in Dunedin and tapping players on the shoulder. And if you look at the Southland squad, half of them are from Dunedin.
Yeah,
and then Otago are bringing in guys from out of the province. It just makes no sense.
I can throw a Wellington angle on this. They also said earlier in the week, well, last week, I think it was Friday, that our announcement of our first signings, Brad Shields, he'll play because he's not going to play for the All Blacks. Adi Savia, how many games will he play for Wellington? And Julian Savia. I mean, how many games did he play for Moana Pacifica this year? I mean, and meanwhile, they've got this awesome competition happening here in Wellington. Yet they're still bringing in these contracted NZR players because they know that before the rugby championship kicks off, they've got to give these guys a few games, right? Sure. What happened to in-house games? I know it's different if you're training and doing all that sort of stuff, but isn't this where tours used to come into play?
Yep.
When you weren't playing the test matches, so you go to South Africa and you play Free State, you play Natal, and then you play a test match.
Yep. The French could have been doing that. The French could have been playing provincial teams. They've got enough players here. But
they could have easily.
Rugby's panicking that they're losing players at a young age. Oh, the kids are playing basketball. Well, I wonder why. The kids are looking at the bloody provincial team and going, well, what do I get to if I don't get into one of these teams and get a contract? I don't get in my province's team. So why would they play? I don't blame them. It's actually, and it all goes back to corporate crap leaching into the sport. You read that there's a CEO of Canterbury Rugby and a CEO of what do they need a CEO for? They used to have a chairman and a president. And it worked fine, and a board, and the board were all the club captains, and it worked, right? They won they won the NPC how many times? Canterbury, and now and then when he does it, and then when the CEO talks, he puts out some corporate speak laced bloody press release that could have been just as easily been in the boardroom rather than talking about rugby. It's ridiculous.
It is
all
ridiculous.
These people trying to make a name for themselves in the corporate world using rugby to do it, and they're destroying it.
Yeah, Totally. So, did you get that off your chest, Rhodey?
Well, yeah, but people will probably complain and bitch and moan about it. But if you honestly think about it, that's what we've been told. That the NPC is our national provincial championship. That's what the club players aspire to. It's a pathway. Well, it's not, is it?
Yep.
Not when you're doing things like that.
Oh, totally.
I could get it if that was a Heartland team or one of the lesser NPC teams signing a guy from Australia, right? But Canterbury, come on, 46 clubs and you can't find a prop.
Zach Healy, I'm not too sure. Mike, you might be able to help us out here. Zach Healy, he's come in as a loan player for the Heartland from Maris Albion, who are Canterbury. As you've already pointed out, Nick Hyde, Canterbury. You've got McGregor Best, New Brighton.
Yeah, Canterbury.
Can you go through your Mighty Hammers team announcement here? Here are the forwards.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong squad. Obviously, we've got there's a lot of players there that were there last year. Declan McCormick, he was Player of the Year nominee. Jackson Donlan plays for Rakai. He played for Shirley for a bit. Seta Corey Tamana, he was in Japan. He's just come back, and obviously you got McGregor Best. He was here last year as well. And in the backs, it's pretty much the best of the best, I think. Hugh Cameron, he's exciting. He comes from the Crusaders development program. Tom Reiki, Sam Pearce, Nathan McCloy, Liam McCormick, and Josh Lennox. And I think we've got one player of origin to name.
Yeah, and of course Tom Ricky will still be lacing up the boots again. I feel like he's been around forever now.
Yeah, he's approaching 50 games. I think he's not far off 50 games, so yeah, it's going to be good.
Exactly. So the reason I've done the next one is, you've got your players here in the Hammers A squad, or the B team. How come some of these guys haven't put their hand up for Canterbury selection?
Well, yeah.
Or moved up to Canterbury to be accepted. I mean, what ground? Because I'm not all that au fait with Mid Canterbury. Would it be Hampstead is closer or Methven closer to the Canterbury border?
Hampstead probably.
Yeah. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 6 players there that could have easily been given a shoulder tap to, hey, come and play a couple of games for Littleton. Which we've also forgot to say, congratulations, Rhodey. Littleton won.
Yeah, I know. I've been following the old team. And Harbour, and my new team down here, Harbour's in the final as well. So there you go.
I thought they'd already won it. Oh, so it's the final, is it, coming up? Oh, well, we'll head to. Yeah. So any of these guys, though, Mike, do you think will push their way into the Heartland squad? Or are they really just the A team for next year?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of players there that have already been in the Heartland squad. George Williams is one of them. Bailey Chisnell's the other. Good to see Jock Ross's boy there, Jacko, get selected. He's an up-and-coming, great up-and-coming rugby player. But, yeah, no, that's just run-of-the-mill. I think they only have 3 or 4 games. They play against South Canterbury and North Otago, I think, in that competition. So,
Yeah. Well, because what happens now is we'll skip South Canterbury because they've just actually only finished all their club rugby, and I haven't actually seen the draw for their semi-finals coming up. But we head a bit further south, and to my mate Wayne, congratulations. The old man will be happy. Excelsior have come through as champions there in the in North Otago. Severdrua got the player of the final in that game. He scored 3 tries. And then, of course, I still think that this particular trophy has got to be the most amazing club trophy in New Zealand. Thoughts, boys? The Citizen Shield.
Yeah, well, firstly, congratulations to Excelsior. And obviously head coach Jason Forrest, he's gone out on a high. But yeah, no, it was a great game. I think that that winger will be in their Heartland squad. But yeah, it's a pretty cool shield, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you can see there, has been played for since 1903. It is absolutely a work of it's a masterpiece of trophiness in that for club rugby, and much respect. And so that's 1903. So what's that? 122 years now that's been played for. So congratulations to the Excelsior Club for winning that. Then of course, here comes the steam again. I can see the steam starting to rise. Friday, we've got Otago playing Southland in their traditional now pre-season game, and but what we'll do is we'll jump straight ahead to the Southland team before we look at the Otago squad. Rody,
yo,
here's your Southland team.
Let's have a look.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, see, I mean, have they had their club finals down there yet? And
yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Yep.
In Southland, they've had their club finals, have they?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Woodlands played Pirate Old Boys in the final.
So Otago's playing their club final this weekend. So Otago won't have any of their guys from the final in the rep team, presumably.
No, well, the thing is, if I just quickly go here, debut season and development. So the asterisks I've got there, the double asterisk is a development player. So you got Mills Muliana's boy there as a development, but in the forwards you got 1, 2, 3, 4 development player, 5. You got 6 debuters in the forwards with Nick Shearer. Now, didn't he play up your way? Mike, Nick Shearer? Somewhere from Heartland. Fletcher Morgan is who I was thinking of from Thames Valley. I knew his name was Fletcher, but he's made the move south. But you've got this team. I mean, you've got guys here, Sever Reese, who will be playing very little games there because being an All Black, and he is injured at the moment too. Remember, you got Jack Taylor, who in theory should be more in the All Black mix, I reckon, and the side will be led by Sean Withy, so hopefully he doesn't get too many yellow cards this year. But yeah, it's not a bad looking squad. But as I said, if we have a quick look at the, this is Southland we're talking about here, Southland country. A lot of these guys can play for Southland. So why can't these guys be in the Southland team again? Rody?
It's weird, isn't it? So we're saying that the way it's looking now, Heartland is really the provincial championship of this country. NPC's just become just another franchise thing. That's what we're saying.
Pretty much. I wouldn't disagree with you there because, because at least the Heartland boys are, they have to play Heartland. They've got strict rules around being selected for your Heartland teams, but there doesn't seem to be any strict rules in the NPC.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous, eh?
Yeah, and as I said, what do you call it? They have had the final in Southland. Woodlands got up to win the Galbraith Shield, winning 40 points to 30. I suppose the big talking point there, and I'll just see if I can see his face there, but he's probably got so many winners' photos there, it's unbelievable. And I can't see his face there. But Rutledge, his 11th premiership with Woodlands.
Not bad for an old fella, is it?
Not bad, eh? I think he's 47, 48 now. So he's still going strong. So congratulations.
You're talking about old fellas. You're talking about old fellas. Did you see who's in the Otago squad?
In a moment. Because also we'll just head back up the road this Saturday. Tune into the Southern Rugby page because they will have a live feed of their grand final, which is Clutha playing West Tyree. So that will be a humdinger of a game, and it'll be a great game to watch live. And then they'll have a bottom four final there as well at Balclutha between Owaka and Lawrence. And then, of course, did I lose my Otago? I thought I saved the Otago thing. Let me have a quick squiz back here. Oh, okay. I thought I'd grab the Otago stuff winger, roadie. So the problem is there. Yeah, okay, I'll get that out of the way. Tell us about the Otago team.
Liam Coltman. Liam Coltman is in the Otago squad. Now, I'm not knocking Liam Coltman, but, you know, once again, can we not find a young up-and-coming hooker to come through? You know?
I know. I mean, because Harbour are playing, who are they playing? Kaikorai in the final, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So you've got two teams, both need two hookers, one for the starting, one for the, what do you call it, bench, maybe two for the bench. So
well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what
I'm saying. Every team has to carry 4 starting props or 4 props and 2 hookers, right?
Yeah.
So if you go back to the Canterbury thing again, 40 clubs with 4 props and 2 hookers, and you can't find one amongst them. Likewise, Otago. Liam Coltman, great player in the past. There's not a young hooker in Otago somewhere, Otago country, that you can bring in. It's just, how do these guys develop? How do they come through? You know what they do? They do what Fergus Burke did. They go overseas and play rugby.
And then end up being picked for Ireland, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Scotland. Sorry, not Ireland. Yeah. Well, okay. I can jump on your bandwagon here, and there's no disrespect for Warren Dearns, for the Japanese lot. But, okay, so he's coming home to New Zealand on a Japanese sabbatical, mainly for family reasons. His mum is now based in the Wairarapa. But why are the Hurricanes bringing in a Japanese international? Even though he's a Kiwi, but now he plays for the Japanese national side. Why are we bringing in a lock? We've got no locks here in Wellington.
Well, that's my point. You know, I don't know how many clubs you've got in Wellington, but it's probably comparable to Canterbury in the terms of how many you've got country and city, and you can't find a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know they have to sort of replace guys that are leaving and all that, but, you know, you've got to give these guys the chance to make the impression, you know, and that is where that's what NPC's for.
Well, that's what we thought it was for, to represent your province, but clearly not, because not an Aussie can come in and represent our province.
Yeah, it is a bit intriguing. So what we'll do now is we'll bring up this morning, the Baby Blacks. France have been a powerhouse for in under-20 rugby in recent years. It was a beautiful game. Comments from you, Mike, about the Baby Blacks getting up to reach the final?
Oh, the Dylan Pledger masterclass, if you ask me.
Yeah. I've got I've only just seen snippets, but I do have the game recorded, so I'll go back and watch it in full after the show. But, you know, they are up against the mighty Springboks, so it's going to be a huge match this weekend. So South Africa, New Zealand in the under-20 championship. We haven't won it for about 5 years or 6 years. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, that'd be about right. But it's going to be a big battle against some of those big Springbok boys. Yeah,
I mean, they destroyed the Australians by 60 points in the opening game. So they've been scoring very, very freely. And, I think the Baby Blacks will have to keep their eyes and wits open. They've had plenty of time to acclimatise to the hot weather in Italy. Really, really looking forward to that. And as I said, we're just quickly running through a couple of things. The Moana Pacifica side has been announced. And if you haven't seen it, that's the shirt they're playing in. Can you me, Mr. Rhodey?
Not really.
No, not really.
Who
But
are they
that's the
playing?
They'll be next week, next Tuesday. We'll be playing the Lions.
Oh, they're
And,
playing the Lions. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a First Nation Pacifica side, and I'm still trying to run through this team to figure out, is there anyone here from Moana Pacifica or Fiji and Drua?
Yeah, Dogo.
No,
Yeah. And,
Dogo's the Fijian proper or hooker, isn't he, or something?
yeah, and I mean,
no, I
most of
read
the,
them getting contracts in the NPC.
yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is most of these guys, there's 9 players in this team that are picked out of the Brumbies. You got Curtly Beale there, who's still running around with his Zimmer frame. You know, you got Jaron McLeod. What a awesome First Nations Pacifica name that is, right up there with Andy Muirhead. You know, I mean, where are a lot of these Fijian and Drua and Moana Pacifica players that probably thought they had a crack? DeBritchney, maybe?
DeBritchney.
Well, he's played for everyone over here, hasn't he? He's played for Melbourne, and I think he even played for Canterbury at one point.
It's a curious mix, First Nations and Pacifica. You know, maybe that'd have been better to make that a Maori First Nations team.
No, but they'd already done that with the Maoris. Got their own thing now.
No, I know that, but you know,
and it is Australia. Maybe when they come here, yeah, but maybe if they run the ANZAC game again in 4 years' time here in New Zealand, they'll have the ANZAC game, and then they'll have the Maori and Pacifica side. Mixed.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you've got First Nations for the Aboriginals.
Although I suspect this is only a mixed side because they can't get a full squad of First Nations players, probably. And that's not a statement on those people. I just think there's probably not a lot of people of that blood playing rugby union.
No, and of course, it is replacing the Melbourne Rebels game that will be played in Melbourne on next Tuesday. So all eyes will now be, because we're getting, you know, we normally only do this for an hour, and I think we've pretty much covered most of the world. So everyone is now eyes on Brisbane this weekend, of course, after the third test at Hamilton between the All Blacks and France. But I tell you, you look at this Wallaby squad, and we called it here last week, people who are watching. I said, with Loasio going down injured, don't be surprised to see one James O'Connor from Canterbury in the Aussie team. Thoughts on that, Brody?
It's actually an interesting. Mike brought this up with me during the week. It's actually quite interesting because, you know, I've talked about the dearth of first fives in New Zealand, and even, you know, Canterbury Crusaders coming through. Seems to be the same in Aussie. For some reason, that position just seems to have a lack of young people coming through. Now, does that tie back to what we've been talking about, where teams aren't bringing them through, or yeah, you know what I mean? It's just even Australia seems to be having that trouble.
Yeah,
is Tom Liner in that squad or Tana Edmed? Can't see.
Yeah, you'd think either one of those guys would. Yeah,
Tom Liner's there. Yeah. Right.
And Tane Edmed, no. You got Ben Donaldson there, Tom Liner, Callaway. You know he's going to be the fullback. I think this guy here, Joseph Suar, he, to me, really,
he's overrated.
He is quite overrated, isn't he? You know, he's come from the league.
Wait till him and Billy Proctor go head to head, and then we'll come back to it.
Yep. And then, of course, in the forwards, a name that jumped out that sort of went under the radar, one Will Skelton's back in the squad.
Yeah, I think he's one of Joe Schmidt's favourites, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Along with James Slipper and.
Yeah, well, James Slipper has re-signed for another year, so you know he's just a Energizer bunny. He just keeps going in the front row. So it will be an interesting matchup. And that's the last of my images. So I'll just go back to us being all wonderful. So we've got all the games on this weekend. We've got Ranfurly Shield. Will the Swamp Foxes upset the NPC/Chiefs Auckland Hurricanes Taranaki team and win the Shield and take it to Heartland?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I might have to run a virtual on it and see what happens. The All Blacks playing... I think Samoa plays Scotland this weekend, if I'm not too mistaken. Hang on, I'll just quickly bring up my... there's so much rugby on, it's hard to actually keep up with everything. So we've got, on Friday night, we've got Samoa taking on Scotland at New Zealand's National Stadium, Eden Park. So I'll start with Rhodey. Will Auckland B beat Scotland A?
I haven't really been following what the Samoans have been doing, but they're certainly not what Manu Samoa were a few years ago, so it's hard to tell, really, isn't it? The Scots will probably get affected by the heat and humidity again, though.
Well, to me, at Eden Park.
Don't know.
I mean, they could have played that game at North Harbour.
Oh, they're playing at Eden Park, are they? Samoa, Scotland. Well,
so. I'll just double check.
Yeah. Well, so it'll be another 20,000 sellout.
You'll be lucky.
No, whatever they sell will be a sellout. Remember, that's what that park does. Whatever they sell is a sellout. Because it's a national stadium, remember?
Yeah. And then on Saturday at 6 a.m., we've got the Argentinian 15, not the Argentina team, but they'll be taking on Romania. So I bet you Romania will be a bit worried there, travelling down to Puma land. And then at 1 o'clock, Canada will take on Spain. So it'll be interesting to see how bad the Spanish inflict damage. But then, of course, we had the third test at Hamilton, New Zealand, France. There are a few changes in the winds with Tupai Vai being injured on Saturday night. Thoughts on that, gentlemen? Mike, what do you think? Are they going to improve on their 47-13 win from last week?
Yeah, there'll probably be a result around the same, but you can probably expect a bit of improvement out of France and maybe a bit more of a contest from the French, I think.
Well, they did drop their 4 best players from the first game for the second game, so maybe now he's decided on who his actual 15 is. What do you reckon, Rhodey?
As long as the changes that are made are just made for injury, I think they've got to keep that core of that squad together. No more of this rotating every week. I think it's unfortunate Tupai Vai's out because I thought he was playing really well there. But yeah, as long as it's just injury enforced changes, they should be okay. I don't want to see too many wholesale ones just for the sake of it.
Mm.
In other words, keep that human turnstile on the bench instead of putting it.
Well, and I mean, and really, I if I'm going to put my hand up to pick a player so far from the All Blacks in the first 2 test matches, would I be wrong in saying Fabian Holland has made every post a winner so far?
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah. It looked like he's an old school. He's an old school lock, and he's got a bit of height about him. He just does the basics. And you notice too, he's always got his head down in a ruck. Whenever there's what we call rucks today, Holland's nearly always in them, like he should be. Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to put up along the screen, we may have flashing lights in this program. So if you're photosensitive people, just be aware that Rhodey is in his little private nightclub in the background there with all his heavy metal
the studios of Rocket FM.
Well, yeah, I'll even give you a quick shout out. I don't know if we are being simulcasted, but sometimes we are. Sometimes
no, not today.
Head over to rocketfm.co.nz. Okay, then we've got the first test, 10 o'clock, Australia, British Lions. I'm going the Lions to win this by 12.
I'm going Australia by 15.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Oh! Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
really?
Well, Tony Soprano say, oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
Okay, Rody.
No, I don't think the Aussies are going to win. I think it'll be the Lions, probably about the same margin, around the same margin as you, Rebs. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, because it will set it up for the big game. Not too sure exactly where the second game's been played. Oh, yes, I do. Over and down in Melbourne at the MCG. So they'll probably have 100,000 people there when all the Lion supporters arrive. And then after losing to the Cheetahs last weekend, Georgia, okay, we had Ireland winning 106 points to 7. What's South Africa going to do to Georgia?
Win by 127.
Well, yeah. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be very interesting, unless they make a whole lot of changes in the South African team and try a few combinations that they haven't tried before, and the score's down a little bit more down than what it should be. But if they put their top team on there, I think they're going to annihilate that Georgia team. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with the Box, it's not just their big forwards now. If you watch that game, their backline is probably one of the best backlines the South Africans have ever put out. They're playing really good rugby, that team.
Yep.
And they're playing innovative rugby.
Yeah.
Remember that used to be the word for the All Blacks? We were innovative.
Yeah, and the Box were always the boring old, just muscle it up front and, kick it and pass it. But they are like, their back line is as dominant as their forward pack now. They're going to be tough to beat, that team.
Yeah. And then to round it off, we've got and then to round it off, on Sunday morning, we've got Argentina taking on Uruguay, which will be an interesting battle. Because Uruguay have been going well under Warren Gatland. And Argentina will be wanting to bounce back after 2 defeats to the English. And while that's all happening, England now travel to America and will be going to Washington, D.C. to play the USA Eagles. So, Rhodey, you're our resident American. What's up?
Not for long. God. I hate to think what that score is going to be. I really do.
Yeah, of course. I think it's going to be a bit of a at least 60 points. And then, of course, next Tuesday, we'll have a chat more in depth about that. Next Tuesday, the Lions will be taking on the First Nations, and then in a couple of weeks, we've got the second test. But
quickly on the Lions. What the hell is it about the bloody jerseys? Why have they made them all crimson instead of the bright red like they used to be?
Yeah,
it's awful. It's awful. They look like bloody Georgia.
Well, that's the old red one.
Yeah, that's the Lions.
Yeah.
The new one looks like Georgia.
It does. It is a bit darker red. Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. Sorry.
No, that's all right. No. But, hey, pretty much we've covered everything from Northland to Southland, all except Otago. I don't know why I missed those photos. But still plenty of rugby to come. Still plenty of club finals. And, of course, you'll be at Forsyth Bar Stadium cheering on your Harbour boys now. No?
No, I'm not going down there. No.
Oh, I thought you would have.
No, I don't want to go to the stadium. Every time someone bloody so much as stops to tie their shoelace up, they're blasting bloody music at you. I just want to go and watch a game, and I want to hear bloody doof doof.
Doof doof.
Well, that's what they do, man, at games now. Stuff that.
Oh, you've just segued.
I'll find the live stream. I'll find the live stream and watch it.
And meanwhile, you could go to the game and listen on your headphones to rocketfm.co.nz.
I'd like to go to a game and be able to chat with the person next to me when there's a break instead of having to shout over bloody loud music.
Yeah, no, we had that issue on Saturday. Really leaning in to hear the person beside you speak. So no, I don't mind it. But every time there's setting up for a line out, you get Sweet Caroline or whatever. Oh, who cares?
I know.
Yeah, they're watch the rugby. So what's your plan for the weekend then? For the rest of the week, Mike? All set for your club finals and club games?
Yeah, I know. We've got the girls. The girls have got a game on Friday night, and our southern seniors are playing Delta up in Mayfield. So we're pretty much through to the Waters Cup final. So we're just got to play them twice and hopefully lift it for a second year in a row. So yeah.
Wow, I tell you, all three of us could be on the show next week with Johnsonville in the Jubilee Cup final, Southern 1 win away from Waters Cup, and Rhodey celebrating Harbour with taking out the Dunedin Championship. How good would that be?
Yep.
Rhodey might be asleep this time next week.
What's that?
I said you might be asleep this time next week.
Not this time next week. No, I'm on days off next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And of course, lastly, we are on the verge. Literally, I can taste it. I can smell it now. The Heartland Championship, it's just around the corner. I mean, that's our bread and butter. So what we're going to try and do, and please drop us a note to our Facebook page if you're more than willing to take up our invitation. Otherwise, we'll just get in touch with you. To all the coaches out there, we'd love to know how you're going and how you're progressing heading into the Heartland Championship for 2025. We'd like to get you on the show and have a chat with you. I know Mike's going to go around and get half the South Island hopefully involved, and hopefully I can get a few people here in the North Island, and maybe Winger can get that Canterbury coach on to have a chat with us.
I don't think anyone in Canterbury will talk to me after today.
Well, they're going to revoke your life membership.
Yep.
And ask for your eye patch back. But anyway, hey gentlemen, it's been an awesome show. We've gone for an hour and 20, one of our longer ones for the year, on our 23rd episode for the season. So we'll just wrap it up there. Mike, any last words?
Oh, it's good to see you back on the show, Brian.
Yeah, well, you know my thoughts on Super Rugby.
Yeah, I know. Same old. We'll just head into another weekend, and it's another weekend closer to Heartland Rugby, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for Canterbury to bring out an Iron Man jersey.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah,
I won't. So anyway, gentlemen, we will look at ending I'll just get rid of that and set up my little thing here for our closing countdown thing, wherever it's gone. I've lost it now. There we go. Because there we go. So until next week, or if we are on beforehand, thanks Rhodey, thanks Mike. I might get you to stay around after the closing credits, and we'll catch you all next week.
Always a pleasure.
Cheers, man.